You have probably heard of Muhammad Ghori and the familiar tale of Muhammad Ghori and Jaichandra. But here is what history rarely tells you. Before Jaichandra and Muhammad Ghori, for almost 100 years, Turkic armies tried and failed to enter India. Again and again, they were defeated. Every invasion ended in retreat. India remained sealed. And the king who stopped them wasn't from a grand lineage like the Mauryas or the Guptas. No legendary empire, no inherited glory. Yet, this ruler of North India didn't just block the Turks, he crushed their ambitions. He extended his power deep into the south. He pushed his empire eastward right up to Bengal. Without fanfare, without myth, but with undeniable dominance. India no longer had a single unifying power like Chandragupta Maurya or Samudragupta. The land was fragmented. Large and small kingdoms were locked in constant conflict, fighting each other for power and territory. At the same time, a far greater danger loomed. Turkic armies were repeatedly attacking northwestern India, testing its defenses again and again. And it was during this chaotic age that one king stood firm. For nearly 100 years, he shielded India from Turkic invasions through sheer courage, sharp foresight, and calculated diplomacy. He built a vast empire. He ruled for almost 50 years, subjugating the Tomar kings of Delhi and defeating the most dangerous force of his time, the Turkic invaders, not once but repeatedly. This king was Govindchandra, one of the greatest rulers of Gahadavala dynasty. History remembers Prithviraj Chauhan for his battles against Muhammad Ghori, but very few speak of Govindchandra. Today, I will tell you his story. The 11th and 12th centuries, roughly from 1000 to 1190, were a time of deep instability in India. The great empires had collapsed. Power was scattered. Smaller kingdoms fought endlessly among themselves. At the same time, pressure from northwest kept rising. Turkic invaders were testing India's borders again and again. The repeated raids of Mahmud Ghazni shattered what little unity remained and exposed the weakness of divided Indian states. It was in this turbulent backdrop that a powerful dynasty rose in Ganga Yamuna Doab, the Gahadavala dynasty. Their capital was Kannauj, a city that was then the political and cultural heart of North India. The dynasty was founded by Chandradeva, once a feudatory of the Kalchuri dynasty. As Kalchuri power declined toward the end of 11th century, Chandradeva seized the moment and established an independent kingdom. Chandradeva's grandson was Govindchandra, the man who would later confront the Turkic threat head-on. Historians still debate the exact date of his accession, but most agree that Govindchandra came to power sometime between 1109 and 1114 CE. This timing was crucial. India was still reeling from Mahmud of Ghazni's invasion, and even after his death, waves of Turkic attackers continued to pour in. It was into this fragile, exhausted landscape that Govindchandra stepped forward. Ironically, we know very little about Govindchandra's childhood or formal education. Yet, the record of his own time speaks volumes about him. He is described as Vivid Vidya Vichar Vachaspati, meaning a master of many arts. The title itself suggests a sharp, well-trained mind. Several sources also indicate that he entered the battlefield at remarkably young age. The text Ramacharit records that Govindchandra defeated Turkic forces during his father's reign. His potential, it seems, was visible even in his youth. Another account paints a stark contrast. His father, Madanachandra, is described as a weak ruler, captured by the Ghaznavids and released only after a heavy ransom was paid. That humiliation left a deep mark. So when Govindchandra ascended the throne around 1114 CE, he made a clear resolve to build a strong, uncompromising kingdom, one that would no longer bow to Turkic invaders. Although Chandradeva founded the Gahadavala dynasty, it was Govindchandra's reign that became its golden age. He did not merely protect his ancestral lands, he expanded them aggressively. At its peak, his empire stretched from Bihar in the east to Delhi in the west, and as far south as the Vindhya mountains. Contemporary records state that Govindchandra crossed the Ghagra river and extended his authority right up to the foothills of Himalayas. The Munger inscription from Bihar confirms that he conquered Munger region, strengthening his hold in the east. His ambitions were not limited to the north only. Govindchandra launched campaigns against the Kalchuri dynasty in central India also. A land record dated 1120 CE mentions that two villages, Karandagram and Karandatalla Konam, were transferred to him. These villages had earlier been seized from the royal guru of the Kalchuri king Yashkarma. This clearly shows that his influence was pushing steadily southward. At the same time, Govindchandra remained locked in constant conflict with the Pala rulers of the Bengal. The Palas were already weakening, and he exploited this decline to siege several key territories. The conflict never ended, but the balance of power had shifted. By the end of his campaigns, Govindchandra had firmly established his dominance over the Palas, cementing his position as one of the most powerful rulers of his age. At the same time, the Chandela rulers of Bundelkhand were a major power in central India. Govindchandra clashed with them repeatedly. Several records suggest that he defeated the Chandelas, further strengthening Gahadwala control over the southern eastern regions. His relationship with the Chalukya kings of Malwa and Gujarat was more complex. At times, it turned into open warfare. At other times, it was guided by careful diplomacy. In essence, Govindchandra ushered in a golden age for the Gahadwalas. His policy was simple and ruthless. Befriend your neighbors or weaken them so they can no longer threaten you. Through strategic diplomacy, he neutralized the Chalukyas and ensured the security of his kingdom. This is why historians R.S. Tripathi and Jagat Narayan Dubey describe Govindchandra's reign as the most glorious period of Gahadwala dynasty. According to them, he not only restored the lost prestige of Kannauj, but he also made a serious attempt to bring political stability to North India. Govindchandra's reign, therefore, was not just a phase of expansion. It was an era that lifted the Gahadwala dynasty to the heights of power, culture, and honor. But along with all of this, Govindchandra's greatest achievement was not territorial expansion only. It was something far more critical. His true legacy lies in his repeated victories over Turkic invaders. This was an age when Turkic forces were attacking India relentlessly. One kingdom after another collapsed before them. Yet Govindchandra stood apart. Through bravery, strategic wisdom, and restraint, he not only saved his kingdom but made it stronger. An inscription of his queen, Kumara Devi, offers a powerful clue. It states that she was sent by divine will to protect the sacred city of Varanasi from the Turks, a term used for the Turks. From this inscription, historians conclude that Govindchandra actively fought the Ghaznavids in his capacity as king. This was no small feat. The Turkic cavalry was the most feared military force of the time, fast, disciplined, and battle-hardened. From Punjab and Sindh, they launched repeated attacks into North India. Many rulers faltered. Govindchandra did not. Govindchandra's courtier Lakshmi Dhar records that the king killed a Turkic general in the battle. The Sarnath inscription goes even further. It describes Govindchandra as the protector of Varanasi from the evil Turushkas, the Turks. Other records of the Gahadwala dynasty, including the Rahin plague, repeat the same claim. Turkic armies and nobles were defeated again and again. These were not just military victories, they were battles fought to defend religion, culture, and sacred cities. By repeatedly blocking Turkic advances, the Gahadwalas built a formidable reputation. Across North India, Govindchandra came to be seen not merely as a powerful ruler, but as a shield against invasion. As his victories mounted, Govindchandra's stature among other Hindu kings steadily rose. He was no longer just a regional ruler, he became a point of reference for power and stability. He also forged a highly disciplined and unified army. His forces operated as a single, coordinated unit of elephants, cavalry, and infantry, a classical military formation of the time known as the Rajtraya. Govindchandra paid equal attention to defense also. He reinforced the northern frontiers, especially the regions of Garhwal and Nepal, to block not only Turkic advances but also threat from Tibet and other northern invaders. To prevent surprise attacks, he built forts along plateaus and riverbank and stationed troops at key strategic points also. These measures ensured that invasions were detected early and crushed before they could gain momentum. This combination of military organization, strategic foresight, and border security made Govindchandra's kingdom exceptionally resilient for its time. But Govindchandra's story is not just one of wars, it is also a story of careful diplomacy. He cultivated strong alliances to secure and expand his empire. He improved relations with Jaichandra of the Lohara dynasty and forged friendly ties with the Chola dynasty, the dominant power of the South India. Historians believe these alliances were strategic. Govindchandra wanted to ensure that Turkic and other foreign invaders faced a united front, not an isolated kingdom. To cement these ties, he even married his daughter into the Chola dynasty, extending Gahadwala influence deep into the south. This alliance strengthened the dynasty's political identity far beyond North India. These relationships meant Govindchandra never fought alone. When war came, he had friends, not just enemies. Though both power and policy, he reinforced Hindu political unity. He was not merely a warrior king, he also worked consciously to protect religion, culture, and civilizational continuity. Govindchandra didn't just defend the kingdom, he defended an idea. During Govindchandra's reign, religious life flourished. Hinduism, Jainism, and Buddhism all received royal patronage. His queen, Kumara Devi, was deeply devoted to Buddhism. Near Sarnath, close to Varanasi, she built a magnificent Buddhist monastery known as Dharmachakra Janvihara. An inscription attributed to Kumara Devi herself describes the construction of this monastery. It stands as a powerful symbol of the era's religious tolerance and artistic excellence. Govindchandra too donated generously to Jaina and Buddhist monasteries. Under his rule, the Gahadwala court emerged as a major center for the growth and revival of Buddhism and Jainism, alongside established Hindu traditions. His reign proved that strength and faith could coexist and that power did not require intolerance. This is why historians have consistently praised Govindchandra's courage and achievement. Historian D.C. Ganguly linked the title Kashi Naresh, mentioned in an ancient epic, to Govindchandra, suggesting that the legendary ruler of Kashi was none other than him. Scholars such as R.C. Majumdar have also referred to Govindchandra as the king of Kashi in their works. Govindchandra died around 1155 CE. After his death, his son Jaichandra ruled from 1155 to 1169 CE. For some time, Jaichandra too managed to hold back the Turks, but the tide was turning. Turkic military power kept growing, while unity among Hindu kingdoms slowly weakened. Finally, in 1194 CE, Gahadwala rule came to an end during the reign of Govindchandra's grandson, Jaichandra. The same Jaichandra, often accused of betrayal. Jaichandra was defeated by Qutbuddin Aibak, the general of Muhammad Ghori, an event that laid the foundation of the Delhi Sultanate. Whether Jaichandra was truly a traitor remains a deeply debated and controversial question. But one truth stands beyond doubt. The reign of Govindchandra was a defining chapter in Gahadwala history. He resisted Turkic invasions with courage, he protected Hindu culture, he maintained balance between religion, art, and diplomacy and power in one of the most turbulent periods of Indian history. So friends, this was the story of Govindchandra, a king history often overlooks, but one who stood like a wall when India needed it the most. If you found this story meaningful, stay with us because many more forgotten heroes of Indian history are still waiting to be remembered. Thank you.